Hello again, everybody, and welcome into this week's edition of the Coach O Show. My name is Ryan Beckman, along with Wildcat head football coach Chris Ostrowsky, giving you an inside look at Northern Michigan football. Coming up on this week's show, we'll take a look back at the Wildcats' homecoming matchup against Michigan Tech. We'll talk with sophomore defensive back Pat Ryan and look ahead to the road trip against Saginaw Valley coming up. But, Coach, let's go back and talk about Saturday's game against Michigan Tech, a tough 34-31 loss. But throughout the entire game, a great battle from your football team and from the Huskies as well.
Yeah, no question. I thought it was a big-time college football game. I thought it had all that college football should be in terms of atmosphere, in terms of venue, and most importantly, the product that was on the field. I thought both teams really battled and traded punches and kept standing up to each other and kept throwing punches, and it was an awesome game to be part of.
Well, let's talk about the venue, the Superior Dome. 6,427, the announced attendance. The place was rocking. It seemed like there was more than that inside the dome. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you know, and I think that's an awesome display of where we're going as a football program. It was loud. It was enthusiastic, and I think as a community, as a student body, there's nothing better than a successful football program, and that's the product that we're going to put on the field. We're going to fight. We're going to give you a great effort, and we're going to be fast and physical and all those things. And I thought it was a great day.
Despite the loss, it's kind of an example of how this football program has grown. You fall behind 21-7. Really no panic from this football team. Even late in the game, we were down 8. It seemed there was no panic from the team.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's, Ryan, I think it's about our trust. It's our trust in a player base within our coaching staff, for our players and our players for our coaches. I think we understand the task that's in hand, and we are going to give you everything we've got. I said this last night after the ball game. I love this team. I love these players, and we're going to get this done. There's no question about it. And you're right. It's grown leaps and bounds in 2 years.
What are some of the things you're going to take away from this game on Saturday night and use it the rest of the season to build on?
Yeah, you know, I just think our ability to hang in there and play together, believe that we can beat a top-tier team in this league, and we can overwhelm a team in this league at any point during the course of that game, both offensively and defensively. I think if we just continue on the path we're on, things will be really good for us.
Real quick, from the receiver standpoint, what did you like about the receivers on Saturday night?
The ability to catch the ball. Yeah. Ability to catch the ball, create space within the offense. Marcus Tucker was awesome. Trey Ipke was phenomenal, and Austin Young was everybody's All-American. So, you know, just to name a few, I think those three guys really shined for us.
All right, well, we'll have more on the Michigan Tech game a little bit later on in the show. We'll take a break, talk with sophomore defensive back Pat Ryan. We continue right here on the Coach O Show.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by
Back here on the Coach O Show, joined now by sophomore defensive back for the Wildcats, Pat Ryan. Pat, nice to have you on the program. Let's talk first of all about Saturday night's game against Michigan Tech, a tough 34-31 loss. But before we get into the game, let's talk about the crowd in there. That was really quite the atmosphere on Saturday night.
Yeah, the crowd was unbelievable. There were so many people there. It was loud. You know, it's been the biggest crowd since I've been here. You know, and it was amazing to play in front of.
When a crowd is like that, really loud and raucous, do you feed off of that, or is it something that you try to block out?
Oh yeah, you try and block it out as much as you can, but you can't help but be affected by it. It just gets you so like hyped up, and you know, and it just makes you want to play that much harder and make that big play, you know.
Was there one play from Saturday night that kind of stood out when the crowd was really going?
I remember in the fourth quarter on the last drive, there was a third down, and the crowd was just going nuts, and I've never played in an atmosphere like that before. It was unbelievable.
The crowd was fantastic on Saturday night. Now let's get your thoughts on the game on Saturday against Michigan Tech.
It was a tough loss. You know, both teams fought hard, and you know we just didn't finish. That was our biggest thing. I mean, we made plays, they made plays, went back and forth, and I just didn't finish.
Let's talk about Pat Ryan off the football field a little bit, and it still is talking about football though, and that's your family. You come from a football family, already familiar with the GLIAC because of your two brothers. Yeah,
I had two brothers that both played at Ferris State. One was a receiver and one was a linebacker, and both were all-conference players. You know, so it's little big shoes to fill. You know, coming from the family with my two brothers, and but having them in my life is just unbelievable. They taught me so much about the game, you know, the transition from high school to college, and just how to be a man. And you also have a cousin that plays in the GLIAC right now, and actually plays at Michigan Tech. You know, that was a tough one to lose too, you know, because our family with my uncle and my dad, they're always, you know, talking back and forth, and me and my cousin talking back and forth, but. You know, it's fun. Have to wait till next year, see if we can get them next time. But with your brothers playing at Ferris State, what was it that made you want to come to Northern Michigan? The coaching staff. My relationship with Coach O and Coach Ballard is just unbelievable. And you know, being up here, they have taught me so much about myself, not just with the game of football, but just being a better man. And you know, I love them for that. Well, Pat, we appreciate your time, and good luck the rest of the way of the season. All right, thank you. All right, that's sophomore defensive back Pat Ryan here on the Coach O Show. We'll take a look at highlights from the Michigan Tech game. We'll return after this.
Hey, Cat fans, it's trivia time. Which 2008 enemy rival game set a record attendance in the historic Superior Dome? Was it A, Wayne State, B, Michigan Tech, or C, Findlay? Find out after the break. Which 2008 enemy rival game set a record attendance in the historic Superior Dome? The correct answer was B, Michigan Tech, with 8,672 attendance.
Well, we continue here on the Coach O Show. We get into Coach's favorite part of the show, taking a look at the highlights. And Coach, let's get into it and take a look at some of those offensive highlights from Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's bring some energy to this here, Ryan. All right, let's go. All right, so we're in a 3-by-1 set. This is a 4th down play for us, so it's 4th and 6, and we're going to go for it. And just a great job by our guys, and we're going to try to talk as generic as we can. You can see this thing here as it gets going. We're in a 6-man protection, and we've got 2 guys completely wide open. Trey Hippke's in the middle of the field, and Marcus Tucker's on the edge. We're going to read the corner and throw off him, and that's big-time college football. That's a great throw, good protection. We've got 2 guys wide open, and that was a great point in the game for us. It was exciting. It was fast. Really high energy type stuff there on a 4th and 6 call. Obviously, we use this view as a teaching purpose. We talk about it every week, and our guys up front making sure that we've got some protection to make that throw.
One of 2 touchdown catches for Marcus Tucker on that night as well.
Phenomenal day for us. Okay, so now we get in a 2-by-2 set. And we're in the red zone area, which is that area from the 20 to the goal line, where we feel like being aggressive is definitely better suited for us. And we've got Austin Young in the slot there up top, which is to the field. And Shea puts a great throw in the bucket, and Austin makes a great catch on a good route, creates some space, and that's an exciting play for us all the way around.
I know we talked about last week, but Austin Young really becoming a go-to guy for Shea Brown, a guy that really has confidence during the last few weeks.
No question about it. You know, the best thing about this play for me is that obviously the route was good, the catch was really good, the throw was good, but when you look at this and you've got an understanding of what it takes to be successful, this is a 6-man protection. Wyatt Jerson does a great job to the boundary here, understands exactly where he has to go right there, picks up a great deal of pressure for us, and gives us the opportunity to make that throw. So really a group effort, 11 guys doing what they're supposed to do.
And first career touchdown for Austin Young too, I do believe.
First career touchdown for AY, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so as we get going here, we move on to the other side of the field. This was a sudden change off a turnover, a little bread and butter for us. And again, 3-by-1, and Wyatt does a great job of splitting them, making a miss, and getting the end zone. And that was an exciting point in the game, and that put us in the 21-21 area midway through the 3rd quarter. So it was a great football play for us.
Absolutely, and I know when we talked before the game, execution was one of the keys. You were able to execute off a mistake from Michigan Tech.
No question, sudden change. You got to execute off mistakes. We were able to do that. It was an exciting touchdown for sure.
Absolutely. And as we take a look at this angle here from the highlights and Wyatt Jurison's run.
Just being physical, is excited, gets up, and that's a reason to celebrate.
Absolutely, and not just Austin Young, but as we mentioned, Trey Hipke, another guy whose confidence seems to be growing at wide receiver.
Oh my gosh, he's grown leaps and bounds. He's gotten better and better and better, and we're excited to see him keep growing.
Absolutely. Let's just talk about the offense overall. I mean, it was more of a passing game for you guys on Saturday night. They did Michigan Tech did somewhat of a decent job keeping Wyatt Jurison in check.
Yeah, you know, I don't think there's any question. They're a very big physical group up front. We knew that going in, so we thought we had to create some space within our pass game, and I thought we did that, obviously. And we got to make their bigger guys cover a little bit more, and I think Shea spread the ball around. Our receivers caught the ball, and it was significant for us. Real quick, I know we talked about Marcus Tucker already, but just the kind of confidence that everybody has in him now, a go-to guy last year, and he continues to do that this year. Yeah. Marcus Tucker's a star in this league. There's no question. He's a junior for us. He's going to continue to grow, and he's going to continue to get better. We need him to be that guy, and I think he'll step up and take that role on here for the next 16, 17 games. We'll take a break. Look at the defensive highlights next right here on the Coach O Show.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by
Welcome back to the Coach O Show as we're taking a look at highlights from the Wildcats' homecoming matchup against Michigan Tech. Already took a look at the offensive highlights. So, Coach, let's see what the defense did on Saturday night. Yeah, absolutely. Got a couple great clips for you, Ryan. We were downhill and physical in these looks, and it was exciting to see. This was a critical moment in the game for us. It's a fourth and inches play. They're going because they're confident. They're going to knock us off the ball and do all those things that they feel they can get done. But those days are over. Sure. We did a great job at the point of attack. We've got a young man named William Bryce playing nose guard here, who did a heck of a job really creating some depth from his spot through the center, which you need to do, and really created some movement. And then our defense just stuffs it pretty good. And that was exciting to see. If you can see the nose again, and he's right there, and he's blowing it up. And then there's a host of Wildcats making plays, and that's exciting to see. When you can do those kind of things, you're going to be a heck of a defense. So that was exciting, and our guys really playing hard there. So that was a big stop for us. Okay, we get ourselves in a close to that red zone deal where you really got to button down and play solid football. We do a great job disguising a little bit in terms of coverage. Pat Ryan's playing in the middle of the field. You can see him there, and comes across, just has a great collision point. You'd like to see us play the ball and get a pick maybe, but we do a heck of a job being physical, understanding what's at stake, understanding the scheme coverage-wise. We've got everybody covered, and Pat comes and really cleans it up. So that's an exciting play. Coach Ballard does a great job dialing that one up, and it was just a good play for us. And that created a fourth down for him, another decision point. So big down for us at that point. Well, we had Pat Ryan on the show a little bit earlier tonight. Tell us a bit about Pat from your standpoint. Well, you know, Pat was a big-time recruited young man out of the state of Michigan, a big-time GLIAC get, and it was us to the last hour. And I never forget, he called, and it was back and forth with him and his dad. And he said, you know, Coach, I want to be a Wildcat. And it was one of those gets real early in my regime here where you know you're going to make a difference if you get a bunch of guys like that. Just a special young man, comes from a great football family. He's a great student. Excited to see him grow in the program. Yeah, good to have him here in the green and gold for sure. That's for certain. Okay, now we get ourselves in another critical moment. This is late in the game, off their drive, and we need to make a play. We got to get a stop, and we do that here. And Levi Perry, who can run, converted safety to linebacker, and you see him create a great angle, pursues to the football, and keeps him in bounds. So the clock should have kept running, Ryan, but, yeah, I know. But it stopped there, and that gave him a couple seconds to kick that heartbreak. Yeah, and but a play from a guy like Levi with that talent, you expect him to make plays like that.
You expect a junior captain to make those plays clearly inbounds, and did a great job making that play.
Well, one guy that I thought played well on the defense the last couple of weeks, had a nice game on Saturday night, was Dalton Stenberg as well.
Dalton coming along now, yeah, absolutely. Dalton's a transfer from Western Michigan, and he's coming along. He really is. He's a physical young man with a pretty good football IQ, and is a physical guy that's got a pretty nice stature for a middle linebacker, and he's going to have a nice career.
Aside from what we saw in the highlights, what else did you like about the defense on Saturday night?
You know, typically to what we've talked about for the last 2 weeks, physicality, running to the football, playing with effort, all things that we think are staples to being a good defense. Those are the three things that were in place Saturday night.
Have you seen a lot of consistency from this defense this season?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we played a heck of an offense there. You have a 4-year starter at quarterback who's a record-breaking GLIAC player, and I thought we battled. I thought we really did a heck of a job battling, and it's going to continue to get better.
And now back to work for another week.
Always back to work for another week. Doesn't make a difference. So today we got up and we met as a football team. We do the same things we always do, and we'll continue to go about our preparation the same way.
All right, we'll take a break here on the Coach O Show. We'll get ahead to the Wildcats road matchup with Saginaw Valley next week when we come back right here after this. Well, going to the final segment here on the Coach O Show, where we look ahead to what's on tap for the Wildcats, and a couple of road games on tap for you guys, Coach. And it starts with a night game against Saginaw Valley State. And before we talk about the Cardinals, let's just talk about life on the road. This football team has really shown in the 2 road games that you can win on the road and play competitive teams on the road and hang in there. That's sometimes tough for a young team to learn. No question.
It's the natural progression of taking the next step in creating the brand that we're trying to accomplish here in terms of becoming a championship top-tier Division II scholarship program. You got to win on the road. What we've done is we've gotten great support from our administration, which enables us to travel first class, and we really embrace that. I think our players and our coaches alike really enjoy the togetherness of being on the bus and being in the hotel and eating together, and every trip seems to get easier and a little bit more natural for everybody, so it's all part of the deal.
Well, a relatively short bus trip down to Saginaw this week, taking on a Saginaw Valley team that's hungry themselves, 0-4 in the season, 0-3 in conference play. Tell us a little about this version of the Cardinals team.
Well, I tell you, in terms of the bus trip, because we're at Northern Michigan, everything is 10 hours away. So this is like around the corner. I mean,
sure, absolutely.
We brought our scooters to this one, so we're excited for the venue in terms of the geographical distance. But Saginaw's a good football team. A good football team with really good football players that are a year removed from being a playoff team, being a record-setting offense. They're an excellent football team, and we're going to have our hands full for sure.
Seems like maybe with the change at quarterback, they're searching for an identity at this point a little bit.
Yeah, you know, you play a couple different quarterbacks, things change a little bit. So, you know, he's a good player, and he's doing some good things for them. So we'll be prepared to play.
What do you take from the 2 road games you've already played to translate to this one?
You know, I think anytime you do something, regardless of what it is, you should get better at it as you move on and go forward. So we'll continue to get better, become a little bit more comfortable in our own skin on the road, and I think that'll go a long way for us in terms of finding success on the road. All right, Coach, we appreciate the time, and best of luck against Saginaw Valley this week. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of the Coach O Show. Join us next week when we take a look at the Saginaw Valley State game and look at highlights. And, of course, we'll be joined by another member of the Wildcat staff as well. So thanks for watching, and so long, everybody.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by